Scrappy people, Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with my second layout using the Citrus Twist Kit's Cherish collection. And today I'm also going to be using this gorgeous alpha stamp, and I'm going to be creating here I'm going to do the ABCDEFGH I love you little I had an idea to like make it bigger than it ended up being, so it's going to take a little bit of fixing here in a second, but I'm setting up these alpha stamps to see ABCDEFGH I love you. And I end up stamping this too low or too high on the page, and it never ends up being centered, and it just kind of drives me insane. So I end up cutting it down later, and it doesn't become a full page, but you can see how cute it is. This letter stamp is so fun. I think it's called, what is it called? The Ginger Alpha Stamp, that's what it's called. For some reason I wanted to call it Billy, but it's Ginger. And I've used some black ink and some Catherine Pooler yellow ink, and I've made this thing. But man, I put the holes in and they're just too off-centered. You can see it's just meh. So we're going to make it work later, but for a little while it's going to be its own page. So I am creating this layout for the Citrus Twist Kit's 3 to Inspire blog post on their blog today. And so I have 3 prompts that I'm going to inspire you with. And since it is February and it is the second month of the year, my 3 prompts have a theme of 2s. So the first prompt that we're going to talk about is 2 colors. I'm going to go with the 2-color scheme on this page. Yellow is going to be the main color, and then we are also going to use that beautiful pink. And the color scheme is inspired by that journaling card, of course. So I'm going to go through the rest of these cards and see if there's anything else that I can use here, and there is not. So we're going to make do with just that white and yellow polka dot. And I also want to pull in these cork pieces from the mini kit as well. I'm going to put one of my photos in that little tiny frame, and I'm going to use that heart for the I love you. I really like the contrast of the cork and this pink and yellow color scheme. The only problem is that frame is pretty small. The photo that ends up going in it is only 1.5 inches, so it wasn't big enough. So my brain's like, I need a bigger photo than this. I just can't scrapbook tiny photos, so I'm going to end up using the same photo again, and that's going to be a bonus little prompt. You don't have to, like, this is going to be a 4 to Inspire, but use the same photo twice is part of the my little bonus prompt here, if you want to use that too. All right, so I'm stapling this down, leaving it open so that I can get the photo down there. I'm going to trim the paper down. And this is where I start to come into a little bit of a struggle with the orientation of this page. So the second photo is going to go under the I love you. And so when I put both photos underneath the, this one goes underneath the frame and the other one goes underneath the I love you, they're basically at the same eye level on the page. And that causes some drama for me and my designer brain. It just doesn't work with both photos being vertically in the same space. So I'm going to put the other one down, and that one's going to be in color. So it's like the same photo. One is in black and white, one's in color. And you can see that they're just basically in the same place. This one's a little bit lower, but that's because the sentiment, I have all this extra white space on the top, and I'm just not loving this orientation. So I'm going to move things around a little bit. I'm going to move this a bit higher and see if I can make it work that way, but it's just not going to end up being enough of a difference for me. And so I'm going to have to play with that ABCDEFGH I love you. So here is my second prompt. There are 2 gorgeous alpha stamps from Citrus Twist this month. This is the second one that came out. It is called the Cherish Alpha Stamp. And so my second prompt for the 3 to Inspire challenge is to use 2 different stamp sets. Of course, this nap time sentiment was perfect for this photo, but I'm also going to use, I wish I could have used more, but I didn't quite use as much of this alpha stamp as, or not of this stamp, not an alpha stamp, of this stamp as I wanted to, but I'm going to end up adding to some of this pattern with it as well. So you can see I trimmed down the initial paper and made it its own little matching mat for this side of the page, pulled in a pink background paper. I'm seeing if I can incorporate that yellow strip, but I could not. And so that immediately ups the amount of pink on this layout, but that's okay because I was actually wanting a little bit more pink because when I put that color photo in there, they're laying on a pink dog bed, and so it's good. We're good. We're adding in a little bit more pink. So now I'm taking the heart from the Cherish stamp and I'm adding to the little yellow dots so that there are hearts as well, just kind of adding to the pattern paper. I'm going to do that on the left-hand side too here in a minute, but not quite. So I pulled in some of my stash, and this is all my Citrus Twist box of things that that are just random that I keep. And I'm going to pull in these frames. And so my third prompt for the 3 to Inspire challenge is to use 2 different frames because I really wanted to use this pink frame as well. So we've got 2 colors, 2 stamps, 2 frames, and a bonus, 2 photos. It's actually 1 photo in 2 places. So that is the challenge. There is a blog post up on Citrus Twist blog today if you want to check it out. So I've got this chipboard frame that I've actually trimmed to sort of frame the photo rather than go under it, but I don't really love the way that that looks with those trimmed edges, so I'm going to cover up the edges with some little bits and bobs. We're starting with this XOXO, and I also want to add this trim, like this lacy trim that I have pulled over here on the side from my stash, and we're going to frame the page with that as well. Trying to find something to cover up the edge of this frame, and I decided to go with this paper clip that says love. I initially put down the rose gold one, but I'm going to end up going back to the yellow one, like the gold one, because there ends up being a lot more pink on the page than yellow, so I want to add in a little bit more yellow with that love. So it'll be, I'll change it back. See, you can see I'm trying to add in gold and yellow. Okay, so this isn't feeling done to me. It's feeling a little bit barren. I'm going to start by adding the trim as a border on the bottom here, and then I'm going to add a matching one at the top of the other side. It's nice and sticky, so I don't have to worry about adhering it down, although I do put it below the mat on this side and directly over the mat on the other side, so like you can see it's not underneath it here. That's no good, so I'm going to end up moving this side down, and so it's tucked underneath that lace here in a second. But you can see I just put it right over the top of this one because it made more sense to me. So I'll just move the other one down because it is very sticky. And then of course we're gonna have to put in some flowers for my girls, and then I need one more thing, and I decided to pull in a matching yellow polka dot heart. These hearts, of course, are from the paper that I cut down for my last layout with the Cherish collection. So I had some extra ones, and that makes some great symmetry there. You can see there are 2 hearts as well. So you can see I'm just really working with this theme of 2. Well, 2 of those hearts, I should say. Really working with this theme of 2 here. 2 dogs, 2 everything. Now this is where things go just a little awry. I decided to add in some of these stamped hearts to the other side as well, and it's all going well and good until I get to, of course, the very last one. I'm just going to overlap some of the letters. I like the symmetry of having it on both sides. This is the one that goes wrong. I don't stamp enough, so it just kind of looks like a random little blip, and that didn't make me happy. So what I end up doing is I just try to cover it up with like an extra stamp, just make it super dark. It didn't work, so I'm just gonna move everything up a little bit and cover it up that way. Like you can see me trying to like, should I just put a pink heart over here? No, that's not gonna work. So I'm gonna move everything up instead and fix it that way. And of course I take the staple out, blah blah blah. All right, we've got it off, we've taken it up, and we are good to go for this page. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. There's a link to the blog post in the description box below for this challenge, and I will see you next time. Thank you.